to the Workforce Connections podcast, where we discuss workforce development in Southern Nevada. Here's your host.
Hi, and welcome to the WC podcast, where we explore workforce development issues in Southern Nevada. Today, we have a very special guest, a member of the Workforce Connections Board, Brenda Flank. Brenda, good morning.
Good morning, Jaime. Good to see you.
Good to see you, and welcome to the WC podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
What do you think about this idea? I mean, this is the first time you've been in our studio. What are your thoughts?
It is a beautiful studio. I think it's such an awesome idea to try and bring us back together. The past almost 2 years has been difficult. We've missed each other, so this is a great opportunity for us to reconnect.
It sure is. And I remember when you became a new board member and you were so excited and passionate. We saw you every meeting. We saw you every event that we invited you to. You were very engaged. And then, of course, the world changed for all of us. The pandemic hit. And it's really meant that we've had to work hard at staying connected. As you said, the work needed to continue to happen. And so we've had virtual events, virtually hiring fairs. And I know a lot of our meetings have been virtual, and we've seen you there. But here we are in person again, so I'm very grateful. Yes. I wanted to ask you, in these 3 years, the first 3 years, and of course you were just reappointed by the local elected official consortium to be for another 3-year term. But in the first 3 years as a Workforce Connections board member, tell me what your experience has been like. What have you really enjoyed about those 3 years?
Mostly to start out, it was the engagement that we had with the community, the engagement that we had with employers, and just getting my footing on what is Workforce Connections all about. And that was exciting. It was a challenge, something that I look forward to. And of course, you said something about I was at all of the meetings, all of the events. So that learning process was really special for me.
Good.
And I appreciate that.
We're glad. Now, of course, you're here representing your organization, which is the Alliance for Education and Liberty. Yes. Tell us, for those out there, our listeners who've never heard of the organization, tell us a little bit about the organization. What is the mission statement? What is your role? What does it do in the community?
Okay. The Alliance for Education and Liberty is a brainchild for me and my husband. We started out just with community engagement, getting involved with other community organizations and doing a lot of volunteer work and try and help other people. During that process, we found ourselves at schools, local CCSD schools, engaging with kids, and we thought, wow, wouldn't this be a great idea if we can start teaching the kids about the founding of our country? So that was the start of the Alliance. What we do is go into fifth grade classrooms, and we teach about the founding of our country and the Constitution. We have lots of volunteers that help with bringing our program to light. Part of the things that we do as well, we have a coloring contest. We have a essay contest, and the kids really like it. So as the years went on, we decided to move into middle school. So we have a civics lesson that we provide for middle school kids. But the big picture is about learning about our Constitution, what it means to be a good citizen of this country, and also to instill in kids the appreciation about the greatness of our country.
That's really great. And I know you've shared with me that the pandemic has affected your work as much as it's affected everybody else's. It made you couldn't be in the schools. Hopefully now, again, we're en route, it seems like, to some sort of new kind of normal. I know the kids are back in school, at least a large portion of them. What challenges do you see post-pandemic for your organization and the work that you do?
One of the things that, of course, we kept some ties with the district as things moved on. But because we're an outside organization, we felt like we were imposing. Of course, they have a lot of things that they have to deal with right now. So we're looking to perhaps put together a virtual program for the kids. Not quite sure what that's going to look like, but I think it'll be helpful for the teachers and administrators once we put that program together and present it, that will be back in the classroom. Not live, but we need to get back in the classroom. So.
In a new way, yeah, and bringing the resources still to where it's needed, but trying to be innovative and meet the needs of today, which include dealing with a pandemic.
Yes.
So in that same lines, last week we opened a new one-stop center in a very special place. I know to you, we again, as we continue to move forward, we realize that we want to bring the access to these resources that we administer as a local workforce development board closer to where people live and work, to the communities, to the neighborhoods. And so last week we were Mayor Goodman, Councilman Creer, Councilwoman Diaz, who serves on the Workforce Connections Local Elected Officials Consortium. She's our new vice chair. We were there inaugurating the One-Stop Center, or Employee MV Career Hub, at the Historic Westside School. And again, this is a community with much need, but you have a very special connection to that school. Can you tell us about it?
Yes. I was born and raised here in Las Vegas. My family moved here from Louisiana, and they moved here because of the opportunity, of course. The Nevada test site is the reason that the family came. Work opportunities. So at that time, it was just 2 kids in the family. And of course, we grew. We lived 1 block from the Historic Westside School. And my sisters tell this story. Of course, siblings have their own way of telling things. I started school when I was 4. And they said the reason is because I would follow them to school, and the teacher just said, okay, we'll keep her. So that is a really funny story. I don't think that's necessarily the way it worked out, but I started early and sadly only got to go to Westside for 1 year. My family moved. So I have that connection to that school. It's pretty awesome.
That is great. Yeah, and I know that, again, that neighborhood has changed a lot since you lived there. And
yes.
But what's consistent still, there is a need to advance people on the upwards economic mobility chart, if you will. And so we're really glad to be in that neighborhood. Now, this is again, you're just starting a new 3-year term as a Workforce Connections board member. What kind of impact, or is there any other special, if you will, initiative that you want to be involved with in the next coming year? Is there something that you have already laid your eyes on? You said, I want to make an impact here within the work that Workforce Connections does.
I think just the re-engagement and getting back to those already established relationships is going to be important. It's going to be one step at a time. And I'm sure that some initiative or some opportunity is going to present itself. I'll have to give that some more thought. But right now, I am just looking for some of the things that we did in the past and what we can do together to improve that. And those stakeholder relationships in our community is paramount. A lot of people went through a lot of things, and I'm one of them, and I'm sure there are other people out there just like me that had a difficult time, and they, I'm sure, look forward to reconnecting. Yeah,
the last 18 to 24 months, as you said, have been, once in a lifetime for the world. The pandemic, a worldwide pandemic like this doesn't happen but every century, and so one of the things that I think is going to happen that we're going to be glad to see you at, again, because you've always been very good at supporting our events. This month of October is Small Business Month, and we're going to have multiple events for Employee MV business hubs, celebrations of existing ones that opened last year, and the opening of some new ones in the city of
Yes.
Henderson and the city of North Las Vegas. So we really look forward to your participation there. Well, I'd like to give you the mic one more time for some final thoughts to either your Workforce Connections Board peers, the Workforce Connections Local Elected Officials Consortium, or our listeners in general as we depart and finish our podcast.
Okay. I'd just like to say that the staff is awesome. You guys have always been so inviting and welcoming, which made my appointment initially a lot easier. Of course, there was a lot of excitement. I didn't know what I was stepping into, but I looked at it as a challenge, and you guys made that a lot easier for me, so I appreciate that. And then, of course, the relationships that we've developed over the years was that I met people in places and doing things that I otherwise would not have had an opportunity to do. And that I'm forever grateful for. So looking forward to the next year, the next 2 or 3 years with Workforce.
Well, we're grateful,
sure.
Brenda, that you're volunteer your time to be a member on our board, to be the voice of the community. And again, we just enjoy the perspective that you bring to this body to help us do the work that we do. So thank you again for being on the podcast today with us.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
So that's it for today's episode of the WC Podcast. Please tune in for the next one. Until then, stay safe. Okay, thank you, Brenda, for staying for our bonus segment called Against the Wall. The first section is called Your Favorites. I'm going to give you some categories, and you're going to give me your favorite pick from that category. You ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Tell us your favorite food,
Eggs.
your favorite book,
Sound of Music.
your favorite city to visit,
New York, New York.
favorite place to go with your family,
The Park.
favorite musical artist or group.
The Temptations.
Nice. And your favorite holiday.
Constitution Day.
Awesome. Very good. You made it through the first section, so now we're going to move to the
Great.
second one,
Okay.
and that's called Tough Choices. So I'm going to give you 2 choices. You're going to pick one. You ready?
Yes.
Would you rather vacation or staycation?
Staycation.
Are you a night or morning person?
Morning.
Would you rather lose sleep or skip a meal?
Skip a meal.
Would you rather owe money or owe a favor?
Owe money.
Do you like the city or do you prefer the countryside?
The city.
Justice or grace?
Grace.
Actions or words?
Actions.
Very nice. Well, so we're moving to the final section, which is called
Okay.
Finish the Sentence. So I'm going to give you an unfinished sentence, and you're going to finish it for me. Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. The first one. Not many people know Brenda likes to.
Dance.
Brenda's favorite way to relax is.
A good book.
The best part of living in Southern Nevada is.
The weather.
3 words that describe Brenda are.
Driven. Passionate. Sensitive.
Very good. Brenda's biggest joy in life is.
My family.
And doing the Workforce Connection podcast today was.
Awesome.
Well, great.
Awesome.
Well, thank you very much, Brenda, for staying over and doing the bonus segment with us.
Thank you.